Have you ever found yourself opening TikTok, just for a quick look, only to realize 45 minutes have vanished? You're not alone. In 2026, the average TikTok user spends 58 minutes per day on the app, and 92% take some kind of action after watching a video. But what makes this platform so irresistibly engaging? The answer lies in a sophisticated interplay of neuroscience, psychology, and algorithmic design that's been fine-tuned to exploit fundamental aspects of human cognition. Let's start with the brain chemistry at the core of TikTok's addictive design: dopamine. This neurotransmitter is often called the feel-good chemical, but its real role is more nuanced. It's primarily about motivation, anticipation, and reward-seeking behavior. Every time you get a notification, see a like, or encounter something novel or surprising on TikTok, your brain releases a small burst of dopamine. This creates what neuroscientists call a dopamine prediction error signal, essentially your brain saying, "Hey, that was better than expected. Remember this and do it again." What makes TikTok particularly potent is how it delivers these dopamine hits. Unlike traditional television or even YouTube, TikTok's infinite scroll delivers variable rewards. Sometimes you see something boring, sometimes hilarious, sometimes shocking. This unpredictability is key. Research from Brown University shows that variable reward schedules, like those used in slot machines, produce the most persistent behavior patterns because the brain never knows when the next big reward is coming. When you scroll TikTok, each swipe is like pulling a lever on a slot machine. You don't know what you'll get, but the possibility of something amazing keeps you coming back. The platform's algorithm amplifies this effect through what engineers call durable attention metrics. In 2026, TikTok's For You page algorithm prioritizes content that generates rewatches, shares, and meaningful comments over simple view counts or likes. Why? Because these behaviors indicate deeper engagement. When you rewatch a TikTok, you're signaling to the algorithm that the content provided significant value, enough to experience twice. Shares indicate you found it valuable enough to spread to your social network. Comments, especially those that start conversations, show the content provoked thought or emotion. This focus on durable attention explains why certain types of content consistently go viral. Videos that trigger strong emotional responses, whether awe, humor, nostalgia, or even mild outrage, tend to perform better because they create memorable experiences that viewers want to revisit or share. A 2026 study from the University of Michigan found that videos eliciting what researchers called high arousal emotions were 3.4 times more likely to be shared than neutral content. But it's not just about emotion. TikTok's success also relies heavily on psychological principles of social proof and identity formation. When you see a video with millions of views or notice that all your friends are participating in a particular trend, your brain interprets this as social validation. This triggers what psychologists call the bandwagon effect, the tendency to adopt beliefs or behaviors because many others are doing so. From an evolutionary perspective, this made sense. If everyone in your tribe was avoiding a certain berry, it was probably poisonous. Today, the same mechanism makes us more likely to engage with content that appears popular. The platform also excels at creating what researchers call micro moments of connection. Those 15 to 60-second videos might seem trivial, but they often contain highly condensed forms of storytelling, humor, or information that create instant emotional resonance. Neuroscientists have found that even brief exposure to compelling narratives can activate the same brain regions involved in processing real-life experiences, meaning that watching someone's vacation TikTok can actually trigger similar neural patterns to actually being on vacation. Perhaps most concerning is what researchers are calling TikTok brain, a neuropsychological pattern emerging among heavy users characterized by decreased attention spans, increased impulsivity, and a heightened preference for novelty. A longitudinal study published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology in early 2026 found that adolescents who spent more than 90 minutes daily on short-form video platforms showed measurable differences in prefrontal cortex activation during attention tasks compared to light users. The prefrontal cortex is crucial for executive functions like impulse control, planning, and delayed gratification. When it's constantly bombarded with rapid-fire, novel stimuli, it begins to adapt by reducing its sensitivity to slower, less stimulating inputs, like reading a book or listening to a lecture. This helps explain why many educators report increasing difficulty getting students to engage with traditional learning formats. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Understanding these mechanisms gives us power to use the platform more mindfully. Here are 3 evidence-based strategies to enjoy TikTok without falling into compulsive use. Patterns. First, create friction. The ease of TikTok's infinite scroll is by design, removing barriers to keep you watching. Counter this by intentionally adding steps. Log out after each session. Use app timers. Or keep your phone in another room during focused work periods. Research shows that adding just 20 seconds of friction to undesirable behaviors significantly reduces their frequency. Second, diversify your dopamine sources. Your brain craves novelty and reward, but TikTok isn't the only place to get it. Engage in activities that provide healthy dopamine release. Exercise, learning new skills, creative projects, or face-to-face social interaction. These activities provide more sustained and balanced reward signals without the crash and burn cycle of endless scrolling. Third, practice metacognitive awareness. Before opening TikTok, pause and ask yourself, what am I hoping to get from this? Are you seeking relaxation, information, connection, or just killing time? Being honest about your intentions helps you recognize when you're using the platform as an emotional regulation tool rather than choosing it consciously. The science behind TikTok's appeal reveals something profound about human nature. We're wired to seek connection, novelty, and reward, and platforms like TikTok have simply found incredibly efficient ways to deliver these fundamental drives. The challenge isn't to reject these platforms entirely, but to develop a conscious relationship with them that serves our well-being rather than undermining it. As we move further into 2026, the conversation around social media is evolving from simple, screen time debates to more nuanced discussions about cognitive sovereignty, our ability to direct our attention and mental resources according to our values and goals. By understanding the neuroscience behind our digital habits, we take the first step toward reclaiming that sovereignty. So the next time you find yourself lost in the TikTok vortex, remember, it's not a character flaw. It's your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do, seeking rewards, novelty, and connection. The power comes from recognizing these patterns and choosing, moment by moment, how you want to direct your precious attention.